I spent the beginning of my entrepreneurial career around people, young guys and girls who are hustlers. Those earning money from industries that are new, just popping up, left, right, and center, software products, digital services, SMMAs, the list goes on. Some people I meet think that if you keep traveling outside of your home country, you'll eventually just be left alone by banks and governments. Almost always that's not true. If it is true, then it's certainly something that won't allow you to live a fulfilled life or have mobility towards your goals, such as being rich. If you live under the radar, so to speak, you won't be able to do many things that someone who is on the right side of the system would be able to do, such as investing in property, registering your business, accepting payments from customers, building safety nets, having the ability to grow wealth, and much, much more. I knew a guy who was a friend of mine who was earning $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and his income was creeping up month on month. He got to the point where he was earning so much without declaring it that his bank account with Wise got frozen. He had to wait weeks for a reply, and when he did, Wise told him that they can't hold his money for him anymore. He would need to transfer it into another bank in his name. He did that. The problem is that the other bank, the only one he could set up an account with within a matter of days, as he was scrambling to do so, was a high street bank in the UK, where there are stricter regulations on anti-money laundering and stuff like that. This was a problem, as it meant that he was being asked a lot of questions as to why and where he was earning and getting the money for. Most people is considered a lot. He figured out and hired an underhand accountant, the type of accountant who would recommend questionable techniques to avoid paying taxes, which is of course illegal. Beyond your own tricks of the trade, trusts, partnerships and the alike, this was wrong. He didn't listen to those like me in his life who told him that he could easily just move to Dubai and pay 0% taxes while staying in the UK for up to 6 months of the year. Like a normal person, I said, he prolonged paying taxes. And even as a nomad, he's moved and stayed in Australia for a period of time to try to avoid paying the authorities. Long story short, he ended up needing to pay 45% taxes, which is income tax in the UK, in addition to national insurance contributions. I am genuinely perplexed why people like him don't do as I and so many have done by setting up a company with Genzone in Dubai. I worked out his annual savings for him. He was a close friend of mine at the time, and he was earning a total of $162,000 or £119,000 a year, thereabouts. I bet you're listening to this story thinking, wow, this is juicy. I bet his tax total was insane. And it was. Instead of paying a one-time fee like $9,000 or something thereabouts, because he didn't have a partner, he was single, so there's only one visa, with yearly costs of $4,000 to $5,000 to maintain his company in Dubai, where he pays zero, not one, not two, not three, 0% taxes on his earnings. Well, I'll get to the Dubai calculation in a moment, but in the UK, he avoided paying taxes for another 6 to 7 months before he was given a letter by HMRC requiring him to take action and set up his company in one form or another to register and immediately sign on for corporation taxes, income taxes, national insurance contributions, etc. He paid about $78,570 in taxes that year after expenses and other deductibles, almost $80,000. To a government who doesn't support his ideas, the ideas he believes in, or the policies he would vote for at the same time. So let's break it down. He spends about $3,600, not pounds, a month in living costs, rent, travel, etc. in the UK. Over a year, he'd pay about $43,200 in living costs. Let's round it up to about $45,000 to make it simple. He also paid $78,570 in taxes. So out of his $162,000 in income, he would be left with $38,430 a year to save or invest or use for other things. This is what we call disposable income. In Dubai, out of his $162,000 in income, at a comparable standard of living as in the UK, if not better, he would have spent $36,000 a year in living costs, a little bit lower. Let's round that to $40,000, $5,000 in maintaining his company in addition, and that's it. He didn't do this because he didn't want to leave his friends and family, but I told him he could still stay in the UK for up to 6 months a year. This guy already travels around the world constantly and is only in the UK for about 4 to 5 months a year, so it made 0 sense. He would have saved or invested $117,000 as disposable income in that same year, whereas in the UK, that number went down to 38,000. And just to put it into perspective, he would have saved $9,750 a month in income. Even being generous with rounding up by thousands of dollars a month, this would have easily been £10,000 a month that he would have saved. I'm not going to do what I usually do in these videos and give you a big pitch as to why you should set up your free zone company in Dubai with Gen Zone, pay 0% taxes, have no issues with being scammed like many of the companies do, no ongoing costs, but I know you watched to this point in the video for a reason. So here's the deal. If you earn over $50,000 a year, not pounds, but dollars, online or independently, just book a free call with Gen Zone. Speak to them, just say hi, link is in the description. Don't do what my poor friend did and let the king take his money. Long live Britannia.